Hey, what's up, guys? So this is different. So this is going to be another episode of, let's see, should we do the journey or should we do the 80? I think the journey, because I think things moving forward are going to get a bit more structured. So the 80 seconds with Eddie, that's going to turn into an Alexa app or whatever you call it. So I'm for the most part, I'm ready to start moving that in that direction and by separating that segment into the 80 seconds with Eddie. Uh, this is going to remain my blog spot for the journey. So the journey right now is I was and some of the videos that I've posted the last couple of days, they say the big message is if it's God will, it'll happen. It's pretty much just trusting the process. I've grown very passionate about it over my journey in the last year, mostly because it's taken me so much to let go and really just trust the process and trust my creator, trust infinite intelligence to take me in the right path, to let my energies flow or get magnetized or manifested into the right direction, into what my creator has planned out for me. And so the last couple of days, pretty much, and the reason I set that message on one of the videos is because a couple of months back, I started gathering up all this video equipment to be able to put a lot more inspirational leadership material out there, a lot more content creation. And inevitably or coincidentally, a lot of the equipment turned out to be podcast equipment. And so I'm pretty much ready to have a podcast. It was never my intention. It still isn't, but it just so happened that everything was, all the foundation was being put into place. And in the same spirit of trusting the process, I decided that, you know what, maybe it is the right thing to do. I've been doing live Q&As, a couple live Q&As on Facebook and on Instagram. I've had a few missed appointments, which means that I need a little bit more structure on those. But I've been having a ton of fun with them, and the people, the audience or the listeners have really been enjoying them, getting to hear input from all these great influencers and people just crushing it out there, making things happen, and being true agents of change. And that pretty much has inspired me. I was listening to a podcast today, the Chris Harder podcast. It's funny because one of my mentors, Mr. Leo, and I shouldn't say Mr. Leo because he's one of my best buddies, but Leo told me, he talked to me about Chris Harder for a long time, and I never really came around to listening to him. He's a big Chris Harder and Lewis House fan, and so am I, but I just never listened to their podcast. And I started listening to him this morning, and Chris Harder had a great message. So his podcast is For the Love of Money, and his message today was about when is it enough? When are you satisfied with what you have? And it's everybody around. When everybody around you is telling you that, aren't you happy with what you've got? Be happy with what you already have. Be grateful for what you already have. Listen, I am super grateful for what I have right now. I'm super grateful for how far I've come. But as Chris Harder said, there's just that instinct inside of you that tells you that you are meant for more. You are meant to do greater things. And I'm not saying that I'm seeking fame and I'm seeking fortune. Yes, the journey started in that route or because of that. But my transformation over the last year just has been so incredible. And it's turned into something that a lot more spiritual, a lot more wonderful, and it's really turned into about being able to contribute beyond yourself, being able to give more. Listen, you cannot give what you do not have. So in order for you to do that, is you've got to grow. You got to grow, keep growing, because Chris Harder said it, Tony Robbins said it. Everything in life, it's either growing or it's dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing yourself, if you're not building yourself, if you're not keeping yourself healthy, you're just existing, and inevitably you're just living and eventually dying. But if you keep growing to be a lot more, you grow to be a legacy, to build a legacy around you, something that's gonna is gonna have posterity, perpetuity, whatever it is, you know what I mean, way above or way beyond, or it'll outlive you. It'll live way beyond what you can, which the route that technology is going, the big singularity movement going on, there's a big chance that 100 years is going to be the average year, the average lifespan, maybe even more than that by the time we get there. So there's some incredible things happening, and there's no time, there's no better time, and there's no more crucial time than ever than right now in this new economy to really reach for your dreams, reach for that moonshot, 10x your goals, and be able to accomplish so much more. Not just so you can, not just for bragging rights or for the materialistic thing, materiality or materialistic things of it, but for the opportunity to be a true agent of change, to be able to contribute beyond yourself, because that is a secret to life. And that's kind of what this journey has been for me. That's what it's transformed into. So now creating this podcast is the next step towards that, where I'll be able to contribute, collaborate with some amazing people that are on the same journey, who have an outstanding message, who need to be heard. Another person I heard this morning, which really, tip of the iceberg, really pushed me overboard to decide that this is what I need to be doing, is Daniel Habib. He's the person that introduced me to him. I said that he was the Mexican Tony Robbins, right? And when I heard him, it's a different style, but it's so powerful, and it's in Spanish, and it's something that I'd been missing. I'm bilingual, and I was forfeiting the opportunity to reach an audience that greatly needs these leadership principles in them, the Hispanic community, the bilingual community. And I just wasn't able to reference anything or being yes, I can speak Spanish, I can communicate, I can write it. I'm fluent in speaking, writing, and speaking, writing. What's the other one? Typing or whatever it is. Speaking, writing, and understanding, I guess. And but it's just some things that are not easy to turn into Spanish, to translate. So I think Daniel Habib has a great platform. I think he's doing amazing things. I'm waiting to learn more about him. I would love to have him on this podcast. So I'm starting to reach out and see if I can talk to him, have a little time with him one-on-one, and maybe do a live Q&A, a podcast session. It would be super amazing. But so where focus goes, energy flows, right? So that's where my focus is now. That's where it's moving towards, and that's what's going to get accomplished pretty much. So I'm super excited about it, and I wanted this blog to be the first place where I actually brought the news out and really set things in motion. So that's why you're getting this live feed right now from me. This is going to be the journey episode number, man, I don't know, but what's going to happen is I'm going to turn a lot of these blogs into my podcast episodes, and start repurposing some of this content. So you're going to see a lot of great things coming moving forward. So tune into this blog. Stay tuned in. Remember that I've got that G-Fit challenge going on right now. So you get a shot at $5,000 by enrolling. You're going to get access to the G-Fit Transformation Masterclass, where I'm going to bring together a bunch of trainers that are experts in their own field. And they're going to be giving their own little lessons within the training. You're going to get monthly G-Fit swag drops for an entire year. You're going to get success manuals, nutrition guides. I mean, the whole 9 yards is going to be so much more. It's going to be super amazing. So you make sure and join. It's running from August 26th to November 30th. So make sure you enroll. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Really trusting the process and trusting what your creator has. There's a good quote from scripture that says, and I love it, and I keep posting every chance I get it. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That's Jeremiah 29:11, and I hope that brings it home for you. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Peace.